The story kicks off when a top esports player, named Yichuan, returned to China. Fans nearby recognized Yichuan and started chasing him for autographs. While trying to get away, he accidentally bumped into a girl named Xiongjiu inside an elevator. Xiongjiu snapped a photo with her phone. Yichuan heard the camera sound and, thinking she was taking pictures of him secretly, grabbed Xiongjiu's phone to delete the photo. During the struggle, the phone unfortunately fell at the feet of his friend named Boyu. Xiongjiu ran out to pick it up and accidentally dropped her stuffed animal keychain, which triggered a memory from the past for Yichuan. Hearing Xiongjiu say her phone was broken, he asked for her contact information so he could compensate her for the damage. However, Xiongjiu wanted an apology from him. Boyu, on behalf of his friend, got Xiongjiu's phone number. Leaving the airport, Yichuan saw that Xiongjiu couldn't catch a bus, so he intentionally provoked her into accepting a ride in his car. Xiongjiu asked Boyu to take her back to the sports university. Yichuan guessed that she was in the boxing department and kept teasing her, making Xiongjiu want to get out of the car. Arriving at the sports university, Yichuan watched Xiongjiu walk away. He remembered previously waiting for hours outside this same dormitory, only to see her leave with another guy and ignore his calls. After dozens of calls, a guy answered, which made Yichuan disappointed. Returning home, Xiongjiu was live streaming, sharing her sweet plum juice, but the plums had fermented and she got drunk. While not in her right mind, Xiongjiu declared war on the esports team named ON. Meanwhile, Boyu reported that news of Yichuan returning home with his girlfriend was trending. Unfortunately for Xiongjiu, she got caught up in a rumor with him. Back in his room, Yichuan looked at the stuffed bear, which was part of a pair with Xiongjiu's keychain. He wrote her name on a piece of paper, then angrily tore it up. He thought maybe she had forgotten about him a long time ago. The next day, Xiongjiu received a call from her best friend named Hongyang. At the library, Hongyang told her that Xiongjiu had challenged the ON team on her livestream. Hongyang questioned when Xiongjiu had met Yichuan. He explained that he's an esports legend, and to this day, no one has surpassed Yichuan's achievements in shooting games. After his first defeat 3 years ago, Yichuan strived and continuously won runner-up in international competitions. However, because Yichuan's individual ability was too strong, the other members had difficulty keeping up with his rhythm. From then on, Yichuan developed a dominant playstyle, not cooperating with teammates. All the teams he joined disbanded after a while. Finally, Yichuan went abroad to lay low and never logged back into his game account. Hongyang believes that his idol will definitely return to the arena to once again reach the peak of glory. He thinks that Xiongjiu, with Yichuan's help, will destroy the ON team. Xiongjiu insisted that she didn't know Yichuan, but was preparing to add Boyu on WeChat. After getting her phone fixed, Xiongjiu immediately called Boyu. Knowing he was an esports player, she asked him for help. Boyu refused because he was in the team's training period. Instead, he introduced someone else who was both good at the game and free. Meanwhile, Yichuan read the news about Xiongjiu's challenge on a livestream, and just as she came looking for him, he was stunned. Yichuan regained his composure and immediately turned on his serious mode. He told her to go find Boyu to help her with the challenge. Xiongjiu insisted that Boyu wasn't as good as an esports legend. To show her sincerity, she brought a month's worth of food to his house. Xiongjiu lamented that she would become a victim of cyberbullying if she didn't keep her promise on the livestream. However, she hadn't gathered enough players for a team, so only the esports legend could help her. Yichuan agreed on the condition that Xiongjiu had to clean up all the mess that Boyu had left in his house. While cleaning, Xiongjiu discovered the piece of paper with her name written on it. Yichuan rushed over, accidentally hugging her, and they both tumbled into a cardboard box. Both of them were embarrassed and quickly stood up. Xiongjiu said that she could also take Yichuan for a walk. Seeing that she treated him like a pet, he sulked and refused to help her. Xiongjiu followed closely behind, trying her best to coax the esports legend. She let him hear the rumbling sounds coming from her empty stomach. If she lost this match, she would lose her livelihood, which depended on her evening live streams. Yichuan complained that he hadn't competed in half a year and was relying on Boyu for a place to stay. He might even have to sell all his trophies to make ends meet. Yichuan demanded 20,000 yuan to participate in Xiongjiu's match. She had no choice but to transfer all her savings, more than 30,000 yuan, to him. Yichuan required her to pay the remaining amount in installments by bringing money to his house every Monday. After signing the IOU, Xiongjiu revealed that she had never played this game before. Going downstairs to throw out the trash, Yichuan secretly helped Xiongjiu with the heavy lifting. Although she knew he would defeat the opponents, Xiongjiu still wanted to learn the basic shooting game techniques. Yichuan arranged to meet her at the internet cafe 3 hours before the match. Xiongjiu excitedly instructed, "If you don't show up, I'll break your legs." Her words reminded him of a conversation from 3 years ago. After chatting online for a while, they had agreed to meet in person, and whoever didn't show up would have their leg broken. During his first tournament, Ichuan kept looking at the stands, searching for the girl he was longing to see. But by the end of the match, the seat he had reserved for her was still empty. At the internet cafe, Ichuan watched Xiongjuo's gameplay and could only sigh. He started teaching her the basic shooting techniques. She had to practice aiming accurately 1,000 times. Xiongjuo, feeling it was too hard, immediately bargained it down to 100 times. Ichuan said she should put her hands on the keyboard and not move. If she didn't want to be looked down upon, she had to be serious about the competition. As a sports manager, even though she had never played games, Xiongjuo knew that esports was like any other sport. You had to work hard to achieve results. Therefore, she had never treated the competition as a joke. On the opposing side, the manager of the Owen team was named Fangwen. She was confident that her team would quickly defeat Xiongjuo's noob team. To coax Ichuan, Xiongjuo showered the legend with praise. She asked to livestream before the match and promised not to reveal Ichuan's identity. Unexpectedly, all the viewers were waiting to see her humiliating loss against the goddess Fangwen. As the match began, Ichuan reassured Xiongjuo, saying he was by her side. Ichuan used smoke bombs to disorient the enemies. He then quickly finished them off from behind. The livestream room exploded when the goddess Fangwen lost in an instant. They praised every move Ichuan made as captivating. While Xiongjuo was reading the online comments, Ichuan quickly finished the first round. In the next match, Ichuan was ambushed by the enemy. Fangwen turned on her microphone to provoke Xiongjuo for hiding behind her teammate. Xiongjuo angrily retorted to Fangwen. Ichuan quickly muted the microphone, telling her she was only allowed to listen to him. He put armor on Xiongjuo and then took her to get revenge. Ichuan held Xiongjuo's hand and fired the shot that ended the match. To celebrate the victory, Ichuan wanted Xiongjuo to show some sincerity. Unexpectedly, she promised to quickly pay him back. Right then, Hongyang called to congratulate his best friend. Hearing a man's voice, he got upset and demanded that Xiongjuo go to dinner with him. At the restaurant, Xiongjuo looked at the prices on the menu and immediately invited Ichuan to the night market in front of her school. Hearing him say she had no money, she angrily left. Ichuan thought that Xiongjuo had used him and then turned her back on him. He told her that next time she should ask the man who had just called, and she shouldn't ever see him again. Xiongjuo agreed, saying that she would never look at Ichuan again, even if she died. The next day, Xiongjuo was hired as an intern at a sports company. However, instead of fulfilling her wish to work in the basketball department, the young boss named Dong Shi wanted to transfer Xiongjuo to his esports department. As the son of the company owner, he had the right to allocate personnel. Xiongjuo refused because she didn't know anything about esports. Dong Shi revealed that he had watched her competition livestream and was also the biggest gift giver. He shared that he was very saddened by the esports industry, which was increasingly becoming commercialized. He hoped that Xiongjuo could join him in bringing esports back to its more pure athletic form. Moreover, if Xiongjuo went to the basketball team, she would only be an assistant, while in the esports department, she would be promoted to manager. Dong Shi promised to give Xiongjuo a dreamlike internship report, along with a very good salary. After Xiongjuo signed the contract, Dong Shi welcomed the only employee of the esports department. He assigned her the task of forming a team to compete globally. The first member she needed to convince was the esports legend, Ichuan. Meanwhile, Ichuan was researching Xiongjuo's zodiac sign online, saying her Aries sign meant she was a fierce arguer but loved wholeheartedly. Seeing his friend return, Ichuan quickly turned off his computer. Boyu told him that the legend's appearance on the competition livestream had attracted a lot of fans waiting outside his house. He reminded Ichuan not to forget that he was a guest presenter at his awards ceremony tonight. Boyu especially chose a pair of black and white outfits to wear with Ichuan. At the award ceremony, many of Ichuan's fans asked Xiongjuo to pass on letters to their idol. Outside the esports waiting room, she practiced how to reconcile with the legend. For the sake of her job, she took a chance and opened the door, but no one was inside. Noticing Ichuan's bag, she stuffed all the fan letters into it. Just as Ichuan walked in, he kept repeating the bold declaration that she said they would never see each other again, even if she died. Hearing Xiongjuo ask to retract her words, Ichuan scolded her for being irresponsible. They continued their battle of words, neither giving in. Boyu asked to interrupt, calling Ichuan to go on stage and present the award. As a special guest, Ichuan presented the award for the most outstanding sports figure to his friend, Boyu. Boyu shared that athletes in general, and esports players in particular, must not only have ability, but also persevere with their original aspirations. After Ichuan left, Xiongjuo invited him to join her company's esports team. Ichuan became even more annoyed that she had approached him with an agenda. He judged that she was delusional, thinking that just because she had won one match, she could become an esports manager. Xiongjuo questioned why he always looked down on her. Even though she didn't know much about esports, she could learn. She knew he had never given up on esports. Ichuan wondered how Xiong would use him to achieve her goals and then kick him to the curb. He wouldn't easily hand over the career he loved to someone who only knew how to make empty promises. Xiong quickly threw her business plan into Ichuan's car. Back home, Ichuan told himself that he would stop fantasizing about Xiong. He remembered the day he turned 20. He was very hesitant about the decision to compete professionally. He was afraid that his persistence would ultimately lead nowhere. At that time, Xiong account had appeared, advising him to persevere with his dream. She shared that she had a lucky carp charm to help her pass her university entrance exam, and now her wish had come true. She gave the carp charm back to Ichuan. She revealed that she belonged to a group of sisters and asked him not to worry about things that hadn't happened yet. Her words had given Ichuan great motivation. Before going into training, he had sent her a female stuffed bear with chocolate to her school. Xiong convinced Han Yang to join her esports team because he majored in esports management. Han Yang agreed on the condition that Xiong try her best to invite his idol. 27 hours after their argument, Ichuan had stopped being angry, but Xiong still hadn't called to coax him. Meanwhile, Xiong received threatening messages online. Scared, she quickly left work. On the way home, Xiong felt like she was being followed. She turned around and hit the creep repeatedly, only to discover that it was her best friend's younger brother, named Chu Tan. Visiting her best friend, Chu Di, Xiong complained that she was having a very difficult internship. Every day, she was busy finding team members, and furthermore, the boss had ordered her to get Xiao Ichuan on the team no matter what. Chu Di remembered that he was Xiong's rumored boyfriend. Chu Tan, who secretly had feelings for Xiong, immediately wanted to join her team. Xiong reminded him that this was professional competition, not just casual gaming. To prove his abilities, Chu Tan played around for Xiong to watch. Unexpectedly, his rapid-fire speed and accuracy were comparable to Ichuan's. Chu Tan said that after watching Xiong's livestream, he had casually practiced shooting a few times. The next day, Xiong brought Chu Tan to meet the boss. Seeing Chu Tan's skills, Dong Shi welcomed him to join his team. Just then, Chu Di arrived looking for her younger brother. She stated directly that she didn't want Chu Tan to play games every day. Dong Shi corrected her, saying esports is a legitimate sport. He assessed that although Chu Tan was new, he had already reached a professional level. However, Chu Di still maintained her viewpoint that she wanted her younger brother to find a reliable and stable job. Dong Shi shared that in the future, he would take his team to compete in Asia and even compete for global awards. Chu Di interrupted, asking to speak privately with her younger brother. She knew that Chu Tan had only joined the team because he liked Xiong. Esports was a dead end for him, and she wouldn't allow her younger brother to carelessly treat his future. Moreover, Xiong had always liked other people and only treated Chu Tan like a younger brother. Chu Tan asserted that he hadn't chosen esports entirely because of Xiong. He thought it was a career opportunity for him. Boss Dong accepting Chu Tan proved that he had the ability and was suitable for this industry. He asked his sister to give him a chance to compete professionally. Even though she had a warhorse like Chu Tan, Boss Dong still insisted that Xiong invite Ichuan no matter what. She started researching Extreme, his first competition team. At that time, Qin Zheng was an early legend, leading Extreme to win many national championships and also training many young talents. He was the captain that Ichuan respected the most, but unfortunately, their first collaboration failed. After that, Qin Zheng retired from sport, and Ichuan led Extreme to become the new generation of legends. Xiong arranged to meet with Qin Zheng to invite him to join her team. Qin Zheng said that he had been out of the industry for a long time and had switched to working as a journalist for a while. Furthermore, Ichuan wouldn't casually sign a contract. All companies that valued commercial profit were not on the same path as him. Xiong presented her plan to establish a pure esports team, foregoing commercial value to focus on moving forward. She hoped that Qin Zheng would reappear with Ichuan. After 3 years, Ichuan used the excuse of criticizing the plan to proactively message Xiong. Unexpectedly, she had unfriended him. Ichuan had no choice but to log into the old account that he had abandoned after seeing Xiong with someone else. He was surprised to receive many messages from her. Xiong apologized for losing her phone and ID. By the time she arrived at the competition, everyone had already left the venue. Even though Ichuan hadn't replied, she still frequently sent him messages. She confessed that every time she ate chocolate, watched basketball, or turned on her computer, she thought of him. "I'm about to graduate. I'm not waiting for you anymore. I have to start a new life. Because of you, I never had a boyfriend in college." Early in the morning, Xiong brought breakfast for the legend. Ichuan sarcastically said, "Did the manager switch to being a nanny?" She advertised that if Ichuan joined her team, he would receive such treatment every day. He could even make any demands he wanted. Ichuan, taking advantage of the situation, wanted a nanny to take care of him for 4 meals a day, including late-night snacks, a dressing room with floor-to-ceiling glass, a soundproof bedroom, and a driver who would pick him up anytime. Seong-jo summarized that everything would follow Ichwan's requests. Even if he only fooled around and didn't practice, he would still be the main force. He would have full authority to decide whether or not to accept advertising. This was because the boss invited him to compete, not for commercial value. To convince Ichwan, Seong-jo said that the team had specially invited Jung to be the coach. She had also prepared another plan. Seeing that Ichwan was starting to be satisfied, Seong-jo quickly went to serve him, going to get breakfast for him. She accidentally spilled soup on Ichwan. He smugly thought that Seong-jo had intentionally dirted his clothes to use his bathroom and wear his clothes. If she couldn't live without him, then Ichwan agreed to give Seong-jo a chance. Seeing Bo-yu run into the bathroom, Ichwan quickly stopped him. Just then, Seong-jo came out, receiving Ichwan's shirt. However, she used it as a cleaning rag. Looking at Ichwan's signature on the contract, she happily reported the victory to her boss. In the team's first meeting, Boss Dong specially wore a green shirt to match Ichwan's Leo zodiac sign. As a loyal fan of the legend, Hongyang also didn't forget to prepare a green hat. Finally, Ichwan arrived, making them so happy that they were speechless. Ichwan was very happy to see his Captain Chin again. Dongshur announced that his account named chairman was the remaining member of the team. As a nice day was coming tomorrow, the team members would move to the base. Seeing that Chu Tan had a date to pick up Seong-jo, Ichwan made her come help move his stuff. Early in the morning, Seong-jo came to organize things for Ichwan. Hearing her complain, he reminded her of the terms in the contract. She tried to grab the notebook back and accidentally fell into his arms. Ichwan was pleased that his body was so attractive. While Seong-jo was moving things, Ichwan couldn't focus on his book. He told her to pack the sneakers carefully because they were his treasure. Unexpectedly, Seong-jo tossed them on the ground, which made Ichwan heartbroken. Seong-jo wondered why he had to bring a bunch of books on vacation. Seeing her almost fall, Ichwan quickly caught her. He reminded her not to step on his treasure. Arriving at the base, the rich kid, Dongshur, introduced the space, designed with feng shui, which is Chinese geomancy, to attract good luck and fortune. He had especially invested in the computer systems and chairs. Dongshur outlined the team's immediate goal, which was the Global League match. If they made it to the next round, their opponents would be long-established teams. To win, besides Ichwan, the new members would have to increase their training, even during their rest time. Dongshur said that on the 3rd floor there was 1 large room, and on the 2nd floor there were 5 smaller rooms. Jung picked a room at random. He suggested that the remaining members have a match to win the privilege of choosing their room. The match started. Jung recorded everyone's playing style. The boss was the first one eliminated. Hongyang followed right after. They invited each other to go see the team's 2 star players. Dongshur said that Chu Tan preferred using domestic guns, with admirable results. Hearing this, Ichwan chose a similar gun to battle against Chu Tan. With his precise aiming skills, he ended the match with 1 bullet. Unexpectedly, Seong-jo had secretly survived and took Ichwan down with 1 shot. Seeing Chu Tan happily helping Seong-jo move her things, Ichwan irritably objected. He argued that competition was about statistics, so he had the right to stay in the largest room. Seong-jo chased after him, going head-to-head with the pro gamer. Neither of them would give in, determined to hold onto the room. Watching Ichwan carefully put away each pair of shoes, Seong-jo came up with a new idea. She went over, grabbed a Jordan sneaker as a hostage to demand he hand over the room key. Ichwan rescued his treasure, then hugged Seong-jo tightly. Just as Dongshur walked in and caught the slightly awkward scene, he pretended not to see anything and quickly slipped away. Seong-jo, annoyed, logged into her old account to vent. She was surprised to receive a message checking in on her from him. Seong-jo remembered 3 years ago, she had rushed to a competition and dropped her phone and wallet in a taxi. However, when she ran back to the spot, it was too late. After 3 years, Seong-jo apologized to him again. She realized that every time she sent a message, Ichwan's phone would vibrate. She curiously went to check it out when Chu Tan brought over a blanket. He wanted Seong-jo to go downstairs to the 2nd floor, but she firmly refused. Giving in to Ichwan, Chu Tan reluctantly gave her a pair of headphones. If Ichwan bullied Seong-jo and turned off her music, he would immediately run upstairs. Ichwan applauded the deep sibling-like affection. Seeing a message on his phone, he quickly turned off notifications. Seong-jo asked why Ichwan's phone kept ringing. He explained that Bo-yu missed him, so he kept texting. Early in the morning, Seong-jo secretly peeked at Ichwan's phone but couldn't guess the password. He caught her and took his phone outside. Just then, Seong-jo received a reply message from the friend of her past. She blamed herself for missing their date, causing him to disappear for 3 years. It's too late for goodbyes now, so there's no need to contact each other again. Ichwan clarified that he hadn't disappeared on purpose. He made up a story about being in an accident while saving a little girl on the street. Xiong, worried, wanted to visit him. Ichuan made the excuse that he was recovering overseas. She promised to pick him up at the airport when he returned. Ichuan lamented that one lie had led to a series of lies. He said he had been in a coma for 3 years, and when he woke up, he only had prosthetic legs. He contacted her as soon as he could move his hands. Ichuan was surprised that his lie made Xiong feel so sorry for him. She decided to chat with him daily to cheer him up. Xiong said that she was managing an esports team, and the key member was a big shot in the industry, causing her stress. Just then, Dong Shi came to announce that the domestic league competition had started registration. He had just asked a master to name the team Furious Dragon Rampage. The members didn't seem very enthusiastic about the name. Dong Shi told Xiong to temporarily use the company name JR to register first, and they could change the name later. Entering their first training session, Qin Zheng emphasized that in the competitive shooting game, besides individual ability, teamwork was essential. Each person had a function, and only by uniting could they create greater strength. Without teammates, even a genius would have trouble performing at their best. He assigned positions: sniper to Chu Tan, assault to Dong Shi, observer to Hong Yang, and commander to Ichuan. While the members were practicing the basics, Xiong made Ichuan go shopping with her. Hearing him complain, she split the shopping list in half for him. Unexpectedly, he remembered that the supermarket announcement called for a little girl named Xiong to go to the second floor to meet her dad. Xiong, angry, went home. During dinner, Qin Zheng summarized everyone's weaknesses. Among them, everyone had problems with recoil control. Knowing that Ichuan was a master of recoil control with an 8-time scope, Dong Shi asked him to teach the team. Chu Tan didn't need it, but wanted to compete with Ichuan. Even though he couldn't beat the veteran shooter, he didn't give up. Chu Tan declared that he would quickly catch up to and surpass Ichuan. Xiong reminded everyone that they had been training for 14 hours and should rest. Ichuan thought that time was nothing compared to a professional player. Xiong accused him of being dismissive while he hadn't done anything all day. Ichuan, sulking, returned the shopping list to Xiong. It turned out he had already bought everything she had assigned him. Back in their room, Xiong apologized for misunderstanding Ichuan, but he didn't accept her apology. Instead, he used a side account to text and complain to Xiong. She confided that she had upset the pro gamer again. She had apologized nicely, but he looked down on her. Ichuan wondered why she was always in conflict with the pro gamer. Xiong revealed that she just didn't like being looked down on. She thought the pro gamer had many good points, and when he wasn't yelling, he was quite cute. After reading this, Ichuan softened. He moved his bedding to the floor and then lifted Xiong onto the bed. Early the next morning, Ichuan saw Xiong happily talking and laughing with Chu Tan. Hearing her say she was planning to buy gym equipment, Ichuan chuckled because that was only for little boys who hadn't grown up yet. Knowing he was mocking him, Chu Tan challenged Ichuan. As a result, both of them ran until they were out of breath. Then, Qin Zheng made the other 2 members join them for physical training. Waiting for everyone to return, Xiong announced the results of the popularity poll in the tournament. The JR team was ranked first from bottom. Xiong said she would discuss with the PR department to promote them and gather more votes. Ichuan, reading the comments, realized why the team was ranked last. Everyone doubted that his skills had declined, and that's why he had joined a newly established team. The members of the team were all unknown. They were still waiting for him to recreate his records, to break the team so that JR would always just be a name. Xiong, knowing that Ichuan would be upset, used the excuse of asking him to put away a can of oil. Ichuan told her that if she wanted to get his attention, she needed to come up with more convincing reasons. The next day, Xiong went to the company to ask for more funding. Unexpectedly, the financial director not only refused, but also cut half of the monthly budget for the esports department. He said that the JR team was currently at the bottom of the rankings. The key member was facing cyberbullying, and the other members were all unknown. The esports department hadn't generated any profit and was costing the company a lot of money. At the hospital, the doctor diagnosed that the muscles in Ichuan's fingers were severely damaged. Ichuan said he had only practiced a few times and couldn't believe it had made his condition worse. The doctor advised Ichuan not to delay any longer. If he didn't have surgery soon, the scope of the damage would continue to spread. Knowing that the esports team had to cut costs, Chu Tan spent his own money to buy some new equipment. The rich kid, Dong Shi, felt ashamed for giving his bank card to his father, as that was the condition for establishing the esports department. Ichuan returned to find everyone setting up the new equipment that Chu Tan had bought. Xiong told her little brother not to spend money recklessly next time. When Chu Tan got married, she would definitely sponsor a large sum of money. Ichuan was secretly happy and even wanted to introduce a girl to Chu Tan. He agreed to go live online to gain votes for the team. Hearing Xiong's dull promotion, Dong Shi and Hong Yang jumped in to enthusiastically urge the audience to vote for the JR team. To thank everyone for their support, they organized a lucky draw, a pair of headphones that matched Yichuan's. The number of votes indeed increased. Meanwhile, Chu Tan was secretly training to give his teammate a hand. Even with his injury, Yichuan played a match with Chu Tan. Xiong Jiu took the opportunity to live-stream the match for the audience. To shoot Yichuan, Chu Tan eliminated 26 enemies. With his love for studying maps, Hong Yang created a strategy for Chu Tan. Yichuan realized that Hong Yang was good at something that even professional players were bad at, in the blurry smoke. The final winner was Yichuan, but Chu Tan had taken down 29 enemies by himself. During their late-night meal, Hong Yang thanked Yichuan because the compliment from his idol was the greatest encouragement for him. Hong Yang decided to do extra analysis work to earn more money for the team. Qin Zheng agreed to do this work with Hong Yang. Dong Shi said that he would go ask his friends for equipment, and if worse came to worst, he would go back to his company and throw a tantrum at his father. Xiong Jiu promised to take good care of the nutrition for each member. Dong Shi believed that as long as they were together, no difficulties would be a problem. Even though the audience doubted them, the JR team would quietly prove their abilities and let their achievements speak for themselves. In the middle of the night, Yichuan got up to drink water and saw Chu Tan still diligently training. He suddenly saw his past self in the young Chu Tan. Just then, Xiong Jiu texted him to confide that the legend seemed to be getting along with everyone and was understanding more about who he was. She realized that the legend had a lot of appeal, which might be the reason why so many people worshipped him. Back in his room, Yichuan saw Xiong Jiu preparing to move out of the room. He accused her. "You were so fired up tonight, and now you're taking the initiative to break up the group?" He reminded her that it wasn't time to switch rooms, and it would affect everyone's sleep. He demanded that his nanny read him a story to go to sleep. Seeing Xiong Jiu stay, Yichuan finally felt at peace and fell asleep. Early in the morning, the JR team unexpectedly received a lot of flowers and gifts from fans. Seeing the pile of the latest equipment, Dong Shi thanked his lucky stars. Xiong Jiu thought that young people these days spent money recklessly. That's why they gave their idols such expensive items. Dong Shi discovered that the lucky star wasn't a fan, but it was Yichuan. On the other side, the boss, who ran, came to question the ON team. He had invested a lot of money not for ON to be ranked after JR. Fangwen took responsibility for underestimating them and being ranked last. Unexpectedly, after the live stream, JR had made a comeback, leading in the number of votes. On behalf of the ON team, Fangwen came to sign a contract with the game livestream platform. She revealed that the host in the JR team's livestream was originally a food commercial MC, which was a breach of contract with the platform. Xiong Jiu was invited to the livestream company to compensate for the breach of contract. They said that her latest livestream was not suitable for the food keyword. They offered two options. One was for Xiong Jiu to livestream eating for 5 hours every day to gradually deduct the compensation, or she had to pay it all at once. As a result, Xiong Jiu, after finishing her team's work, had to rush to prepare for her live streams every night. Smelling the strong odor of snail noodles, Yichuan took out a bottle of perfume and sprayed it. Xiong Jiu accused him of using her perfume without permission. They were so busy bickering that they forgot they were on live stream. Fans were disillusioned when they saw Yichuan living with his girlfriend. Xiong Jiu asked Yichuan to recommend some live stream platforms to her. She wanted to sign a contract for the team with another platform. Yichuan asked for the reason, but Xiong Jiu didn't answer. He had to secretly ask someone for help. On the other side, Chu Di called to ask her younger brother why he had withdrawn all the money from his bank account. Seeing that Chu Tan refused to tell her, she guessed that he had paid the breach of contract money for Xiong Jiu. Hearing this, Chu Tan ran to Xiong Jiu's room and saw her passed out on the floor. He quickly carried Xiong Jiu to the emergency room. Just as it started to rain, Chu Tan couldn't get a taxi. He had to run in the rain to bring her to the hospital. In the hospital room, Chu Tan gently wiped each strand of hair for Xiong Jiu. He was worried because she was still unconscious. Hearing the news that Xiong Jiu was sick, Yichuan rushed to the hospital. The nurse said that Xiong Jiu had acute gastritis and had to stay in the hospital for 2 days. Yichuan quickly volunteered to stay and take care of her. Waiting for Xiong Jiu to wake up, Yichuan blamed her for eating herself into the hospital the moment she was out of his sight. Xiong Jiu accused Yichuan of speaking harshly to a patient. Seeing her toss and turn and have trouble sleeping, he told her a random story about the Dragon King choosing a son-in-law. While listening, Xiong Jiu texted, admitting that she was a little interested in the legend. Visiting Xiong Jiu in the hospital, Dong Shi blamed her for planning to shoulder the breach of contract alone. Yichuan discovered that the livestream platform had just signed a contract with the ON team. Back home, Yichuan waited for the ON team's first competitive livestream to directly defeat them. On the other hand, Chu Tan had the same intention as the legend. The commander of ON, named was very confident that they would quickly end the match. One of their members was suddenly eliminated. He realized that his enemy was Yichuan. Seeing that Chu Tan had joined, Yichuan connected with his young teammate to vent his anger for Xiongjiu. Yichuan commanded Chu Tan not to end the match quickly. He wanted, "We will keep knocking down Zi. When his teammates help him up, I'll knock him down again." The captain of ON will have to experience the feeling of life and death repeating. Chu Tan was amused by Yichuan's malice. Zi, being played with by Yichuan, was livid. Watching the live stream of the match, Xiongjiu saw that Yichuan and Chu Tan, who were always bickering, could work so well together. Meeting Yichuan, she showed her team pride. Just then, Bo Yu came to visit Xiongjiu. He said that the livestream platform for his FEL team was very eager to cooperate with the JR team. By the way, Bo Yu inquired about the young teammate who had taken down 29 enemies by himself. Xiongjiu said it was Chu Tan, who she had grown up with since they were little. Yichuan reminded Bo Yu that he wouldn't be able to steal Chu Tan. Xiongjiu realized Bo Yu's purpose and changed her attitude towards him. Bo Yu awkwardly changed the topic to Yichuan's breakfast. He told Xiongjiu to be gentle with Yichuan's pure soul. He boasted that Yichuan had once been catfished online for 3 years, never recovering, and that it was through a sports forum when the person didn't show up to a match that he had been heartbroken for several years. Yichuan quickly pulled Bo Yu out of the room. Outside, Chu Tan had heard everything. He knew that Yichuan was the person in Xiongjiu's heart. Waiting for Yichuan to come in, Xiongjiu questioned him about when he knew that the person he had been talking to online was her. Yichuan confessed it was from the moment he picked up her keychain at the airport. Xiongjiu suddenly remembered her confession. "I've started to care about the legend." Yichuan clarified that he hadn't intentionally hidden it from her. He said that after the tournament, he had gone to the dorm to look for Xiongjiu, but she had left with another man. When he finally managed to call her, a male voice answered the phone. Xiongjiu remembered that it was Chu Tan. Xiongjiu said, "The first time I came to your house, the anger I had felt for 3 years disappeared in an instant. I promised myself that I wouldn't lose you again." Seeing Xiongjiu's cheeks flush, Yichuan moved closer to her. Unexpectedly, he said she was lacking oxygen because she had walked too fast. Just then, Chu Di came to pick up her best friend from the hospital. To welcome Xiongjiu home from the hospital, the boss Dong had prepared a charcoal brazier for her to step over to ward off disease and disaster. He said that the company's legal department had resolved Xiongjiu's breach of contract issue because the livestream platform had acted illegally by issuing the penalty on their own. Back in their room, Xiongjiu realized that Yichuan had moved out. Seeing him come over to bring her food, she quickly pretended to be busy. Yichuan thought she was still mad at him, so he didn't stay. He guessed that girls liked money, so he gave Xiongjiu a red envelope to try to win her over. Unexpectedly, she unfriended him again. Before bedtime, Yichuan brought a teddy bear to Xiongjiu's door. Because she wouldn't open the door, he continued to find all kinds of excuses, such as sending a package, asking for the manager's signature, and even faking smoke to call out a fire. As a result, he got to see her for just 3 seconds. Early in the morning, Xiongjiu announced that she would implement living rules to save money. Every day, at the beginning of work, she would distribute toilet paper to each person. As a responsible manager, she would strictly monitor the living habits and spending of each person. In the evening, Yichuan stood outside the door to apologize to Xiongjiu. Knowing that she hadn't calmed down, he continued to send her letters of apology. He hoped she would hit him rather than ignore him. If she was embarrassed to hit him in real life, he would let her vent her anger in the game. Unexpectedly, Xiongjiu attacked him mercilessly. Seeing that she still wouldn't open the door, Yichuan went back to his room in disappointment. He was surprised to receive a friend request from Xiongjiu again. The legend, overjoyed, immediately sent her dozens of messages. The next day, Xiongjiu dressed up beautifully, causing everyone to be amazed. She said that she was going to sign a contract with a new livestream platform. She especially had Yichuan accompany her to meet Director Liu. Yichuan pretended not to know her and gave Xiongjiu full authority to negotiate. She hoped to raise the profit-sharing ratio to 30%. After considering it, Director Liu agreed. He invited his 2 guests to stay for a meal with his company. Xiongjiu happily drank until she was tipsy. Helping her back to her room, Yichuan noticed that Chu Tan had secretly left hangover medicine on the table for Xiongjiu. Early in the morning, Xiongjiu woke up and saw the bandage on her leg, feeling a warmth in her heart. She remembered that Yichuan, seeing that her leg was scratched, had gently put a bandage on it for her. Xiongjiu suddenly woke up and hit him on the head. Remembering this, the smile on her face suddenly faded. Unpleasant memories started to surface, and she even made him compare herself to his shoes, asking which was more important. In their first live stream, Chu Tan didn't listen to Yichuan's commands and was unexpectedly eliminated from the game. Not giving up, he spent an entire night studying military tactics. However, Ichuan didn't take strategizing on paper seriously. He believed that Chu Tan only focused on shooting, while many people had good shooting techniques. As a sniper, Chu Tan should be calm instead of being hasty and making mistakes easily. Seeing that Chu Tan refused to learn, Ichuan judged that he was only treating the match like a game and didn't really love esports. Chu Tan questioned, "Does a player like Ichuan have a right to talk about love?" Meeting Chu Tan privately, Xiongjiu learned that he had only called Ichuan a playboy because of her. Chu Tan blamed Ichuan for being petty and not giving Xiongjiu a chance to explain. She recounted that after the match, Ichuan had gone to her school to look for her, but he saw her leaving with Chu Tan and had misunderstood. Chu Tan realized that it was he who had answered Ichuan's call. Just when Xiongjiu read the news that Chu Tan and Ichuan's argument had been leaked online, Chairman Dong scolded his son. "You can't give me a single day of peace." Dong sure explained that he didn't know the livestream camera had turned on automatically. Mr. Dong said that he had indulged his son by establishing the esports department and didn't expect a profit, but the members' arguments had directly affected the company. A number of clients demanded to terminate their advertising contracts with JR. While having a drink to relieve their worries, Xiongjiu told Boss Dong not to talk about advertising to everyone, to avoid affecting their competitive mentality. As a manager, she would go to persuade the sponsors. However, the number of votes for JR plummeted, putting the team at the bottom again. She didn't want Chu Tan and Ichuan to see the malicious comments online, especially Ichuan, as he had to endure more pressure than others. Although he always seemed cold, Ichuan cared about everyone very much. He secretly bought supplies for her and contacted the livestream platform. His harsh words had stimulated Chu Tan's fighting spirit. He had even publicly competed against ON for the team. She hoped that Ichuan wouldn't be defeated by the doubts. Ichuan's unexpected appearance caused Xiongjiu to run away in embarrassment. Back in the gaming room, Ichuan remembered what Xiongjiu had said. He decided to officially reopen his account after 6 months. The return of the legend made all the top opponents have to raise their guard. In his opening match, many shooters brought gifts to pay tribute to the legend. In addition, many old colleagues wanted to compete, but couldn't escape Ichuan's bullet. The last one was his friend, Bo Yu. He pretended to surrender in order to distract Ichuan. With his quick reactions, Ichuan quickly dodged Bo Yu's bullet. He used a smoke bomb and proactively attacked, ending the match. Hong Yang was proud to witness the legend fighting against the top shooters in the country. Seeing Ichuan wiping his computer mouse, Xiongjiu said that she still often cleaned his desk for him. Ichuan grabbed Xiongjiu's hand, wondering why she wouldn't admit that she cared about him a lot. Ichuan slowly moved closer to Xiongjiu. He suddenly realized she was stepping on his treasure. Xiongjiu wished his shoes a long and happy life. Waiting for Xiongjiu to leave, Ichuan quickly ran upstairs to take a pain reliever. The next day, Xiongjiu took the legend and Chu Tan to apologize to the sponsor. Seeing that Xiongjiu's high heels were hurting her feet, Ichuan went to find a chair for her. Xiongjiu recognized a famous game commentator named Xie Ye. Unexpectedly, she knew Ichuan and even offered her seat to him. Xie Ye said that her boss was a fan of Ichuan, so they pulled him over for a photo. She wondered why so many clubs wanted to sign a contract with Ichuan, yet he chose a team with no name. Ichuan, too lazy to explain, quickly followed Xiongjiu to meet with Director Li. Ichuan affirmed that he regarded Chu Tan as his own younger brother, so he sometimes didn't pay attention to his words. Director Li shared that the company sponsored the JR team mainly because of Ichuan, but the negative public opinion lately made him a little worried and wanted to end the cooperation. Xiongjiu, on behalf of the entire team, bowed her head to apologize to Director Li. Ichuan asked the sponsor for a chance for JR to prove their strength in the official league match. Director Li trusted Ichuan and agreed to promote the cooperation again. On the way out, Xiongjiu went to return the chair to Xie Ye. Her assistant said that Xie Ye always treated Ichuan in a special way. If she saw that he was loved by female fans, she would definitely be jealous. Back home, Xiongjiu researched Xie Ye. The online community revered her as the esports goddess. Looking at herself in the mirror, Xiongjiu only saw many flaws. Even though it was already midnight, she still diligently put on a face mask and did yoga. The next day, Xiongjiu went out to eat with Chu Di and accidentally saw Ichuan sitting with Xie Ye. Their parents were even trying to match them together. Ichuan, noticing that Xiongjiu was staring at him, refused the food that Xie Ye picked up for him, nor did he borrow her tissue. Back at the base, Ichuan quickly explained that he didn't know his mother had invited Xie Ye for a meal. He affirmed that he really didn't like the type of girl who was gentle, sweet, beautiful, and cute. Xiongjiu was turning red with jealousy, but Ichuan still didn't know what he had done wrong. To prepare for their first match, Ichuan trained with everyone. Qin Zheng assigned him the task of leading the entire team. Despite their efforts, Dong Shi and Hong Yang were quickly defeated. Chu Tan followed after, leaving Ichuan to fight alone and win. Dong Shi felt that everyone couldn't keep up with the rhythm, so they held the legend back. Qin emphasized that the whole team must pay attention to accumulating competition points. Dong Shi and Hong Yang would support Chu Tan and Yichuan in shooting the enemies. At the hospital, Yichuan asked the doctor to give him an emergency dose of pain reliever for the competition the day after tomorrow. The doctor reminded him that if he didn't have surgery soon, the symptoms of paralysis would become more and more serious, and the pain reliever could cause some side effects, such as fatigue and loss of concentration. However, Yichuan was still determined to have the injection. Bo Yu unexpectedly came in, and he asked his best friend, "Why do you have to inject into your hand like this?" Chasing after Yichuan, Bo Yu asked him to prioritize his health and not risk his life in the competition. Yichuan confided, "I don't want to miss any more opportunities." Bo Yu wondered, how can a legend who is injured lead a bunch of rookies and achieve good results? Yichuan affirmed, "I won't lose if I don't give up." Finally, the competition day arrived. Hong Yang tried to reassure himself. Boss Dong Shi flipped a coin to ask for luck for the team. Coach Qin presented the team uniforms with dignity. Chu Tan was cold with a look of determination in his eyes. Manager Xiong Jiu secretly cheered for each member. The legend chose his most beloved treasure. The JR team was ready for their debut match. Following the boss's advice, the whole team stepped out the door with their left foot first. Arriving at the waiting room at the sports center, Qin told everyone to adjust their state after each round and absolutely not to discuss too much. Following each one's arrangement, they started off when they heard the command, JR team. Outside, meeting the ON team, Ze sneered. This will be the first and last match of the JR team. He mocked Chu Tan. Taking down 29 amateurs is just child's play. Yichuan advised Chu Tan to prove his strength with action. After registering the team, Xiong Jiu was still able to come back to cheer for each member. When it was the legend's turn, he asked her for a hug. Xiong Jiu believed that he would definitely be able to do it. The competition welcomed 16 esports teams from all over China. Fans had confidence in Bo Yu's FAL team and had hopes for the new ON team, but they didn't think highly of the JR team, and they were even more divided in their opinions about each one. All members of the 16 teams were ready to enter the competition. The legend called on his teammates for support. He fired a shot, scoring the first 3 points to announce his return. The next shot was also from Yichuan. The entire stadium erupted at the legend's peak performance. He began to unleash his specialty, both confronting opponents head-on and playing dirty. However, he was getting farther and farther away from his teammates. Dong Shi hastily threw a grenade, blowing up Hong Yang. Yichuan reassured his teammates, ordering Dong Shi to quickly regroup with Chu Tan. However, Chu Tan still hadn't found the domestic gun because his parachute landing rhythm was messed up. He decided to throw a grenade, taking advantage of every second to escape. Finally, Chu Tan found the domestic gun, but was shot down by Bo Yu. As a result, Yichuan was alone between two of the top opponents from the FAL team. Bo Yu was the one who eliminated the legend from the round. In the next round, the JR team still tried hard, though they weren't consistent. Yichuan quickly obtained his signature weapon and was still the first to score. Chu Tan was still struggling to find a gun. Meanwhile, the ON team once again entered the circle of fate and won. After that, Bo Yu's FAL team won continuously. The JR team still couldn't coordinate well with each other. As a result, at the halfway point, the FAL team was leading with 78 points. The ON team ranked second with 72 points, and the JR team, relying on Yichuan, had 60 points. It would be very difficult for them to advance to the next round. Returning to the waiting room, the JR team was looked down upon by the audience. Many people told Yichuan to retire. Some fans asked Chu Tan not to drag down the legend. Yichuan hurried into the emergency exit to take a pain reliever. Back in the waiting room, Hong Yang blamed himself for being hasty, reporting the wrong team, and landing in the wrong direction. Dong Shi regretted throwing a grenade at Hong Yang, which affected the team's morale. Chu Tan was disappointed that he hadn't even touched his gun. Xiong Jiu thought everyone was under a lot of pressure in their first competition. Qin came in and affirmed, in a team, no one drags anyone else down. He analyzed. Chu Tan wasted time looking for a gun, so he didn't have a chance to score. Hong Yang was in charge of observation, but lost his calm, so he didn't make use of his strengths. Dong Shi was in charge of finding supplies, but landed later than his teammates. Qin concluded. The three members were too stressed and hadn't been able to show their strength. Most of the other teams had been through at least 5 competitions, so they were very good at coordinating. Instead of demanding that in a short amount of time, each member of JR would focus on making the most of their individual strengths. In the second half of the match, Hong Yang focused on predicting the enemy's movements, immediately reporting to Yichuan when he spotted someone. Dong Shi kept a cool head, ready to face the gunfire to protect his 3 teammates. Chu Tan said, "Don't be greedy for guns. Aim to prove yourself. If you want to live, you must have a weapon first." Yichuan admitted that he lacked coordination. In the next match, he would parachute together with his teammates. Han Yang opened his parachute first while observing. After landing, Dong Shi protected Chu Tan as he found supplies, and Han Yang would coordinate with Yichuan. Qin Zheng said that the JR team was currently ranked 7th. Everyone regained their spirits, determined to make a comeback. In the next round, the JR team jumped to the same location for the first time. Yichuan still scored the first point of the match. Following the command, Han Yang fired randomly at a room window to find the enemy's position. Dong Shi provided cover, throwing bombs to kill them. Yichuan observed, taking down the remaining enemies. Dong Shi continued to force the enemies to move to Chu Tan's position. Finally, Chu Tan fired his first shot in the competition, killing a strong enemy. The JR team's beautiful coordination made the entire stadium erupt. In the following rounds, the JR team continued to maintain their good form, rising to 4th place in the rankings. The FAL and ON teams were guaranteed to advance to the next round, leaving only one fiercely contested spot between the 3rd-ranked team and the JR team. Yichuan ordered everyone to be vigilant against the FAL team in the factory. He told Dong Shi to throw a bomb toward Han Yang, then Han Yang to shoot toward Dong Shi. As expected, the FAL team guessed that there were 2 teams fighting below, so they immediately split up their actions. The JR team seized the opportunity to eliminate all the enemies. Bo Yu sighed because his best friend was still as cunning as ever. Hearing footsteps, Bo Yu took down Chu Tan, but Yichuan immediately sent the captain of FAL packing. The entire stadium erupted at the JR team's spectacular comeback. They officially made it to the top 3, earning the last ticket to the next round. In the post-match interview, the reporter wondered if Chu Tan was disappointed about his poor performance. Yichuan remembered that he had received a similar question when he failed in his debut performance. He returned the microphone to the reporter and then called for the whole group to take a photo together. At the hospital, the doctor said that Yichuan could no longer do high-intensity exercise because the muscles in his arm were severely damaged. The doctor temporarily prescribed a strong dose of pain relievers, but they had significant side effects. Furthermore, Yichuan had to wear an arm brace 24 hours a day. In the car, Bo Yu reminded Yichuan that he had completed his mission of bringing the JR team to the international stage and that the legend should now focus on recovery and think more about himself. However, Yichuan couldn't abandon his teammates. He believed that they had not yet unleashed their full potential, especially Chu Tan. Back at the base, Chu Tan continuously watched analyses about himself. Everyone said that domestic guns were scarce, and that was Chu Tan's weakness. Yichuan tried to turn off the TV, but Chu Tan stubbornly kept watching. Boss Dong came to call everyone to celebrate their victory. Seeing that Chu Tan refused, Yichuan decided to take his young teammate out to play. On the other side, the boss of the ON team, Hu Ran, wanted to snatch Yichuan to his side. He thought that after Yichuan led 3 losers to the international arena, the media had focused all their attention on him. The keyword "the legend is back" had dominated the hot search for 3 days. If Yichuan joined ON, the team's commercial value would increase. It turned out that Yichuan had taken Chu Tan to celebrate with the FEL team. In a meatball grabbing game, no one could beat Bo Yu. Yichuan remembered his best friend being taken away by the ambulance because of overtraining his hand speed, no better than Bo Yu. Lao Han was obsessed with his hip-firing specialty, also losing sleep night and day. Lao Han said, "The more people doubt me, the more I want to prove myself." Hearing Bo Yu call himself the #1 hand speed, Yichuan wasn't convinced and sent Chu Tan to compete with him. As a result, Chu Tan was only slightly slower than Bo Yu. Yichuan told his young teammate, "Losing now doesn't mean you'll lose forever." On the way back, Yichuan commented that Chu Tan was still very skilled in using a different type of gun against Bo Yu. Therefore, the problem wasn't the weapon but the person. He said that Bo Yu had ruined several batches of computer mice because of hand training, and Lao Han's obsession with hip firing had affected his eyes. All those geniuses weren't easily achieved. Seeing Xiong Jio on the side of the road, Yichuan immediately ran over. She was cleaning a car to return to the basketball team. Yichuan knew she had to endure a lot of grievances at the company when the team's ability was questioned. He promised that he wouldn't let Xiong Jio down. She thought that a little hardship was nothing compared to the pressure that the legend had to bear. Yichuan said that the most difficult thing was being urged by his family to get married. He asked his manager to help him. Xiong Jio pulled out her phone, introducing him to her college friends and high school friends. Yichuan angrily went inside. Before dawn, Chu Tan was running, remembering Yichuan's words. He suddenly understood, wanted to overcome public opinion and keep moving forward. On the other side, Hu Ran met with Qin Zheng. He wondered, if Yichuan knew that Captain Qin had deliberately lost the match back then, what would happen? Hu Ran asked Qin Zheng to hand over Yichuan to the ON team himself. He knew that Captain Qin had worked hard to buy a house and get married. If everything went smoothly, Hu Ran would provide financial support for Qin Zheng. He emphasized passion won't fill your stomach. Under Bo Yu's supervision, Ichuan had to go home to make it convenient to wear his arm brace for 24 hours. He worried about what Xiong Jio, who was clingy, would do without him by her side. The next day, the JR team prepared to go film a TV show. Boss Dong had borrowed a multi-seater van. He said that Ichuan had made an appointment with everyone at the studio. Chu Tan was surprised to see his older sister sitting in the van. Hong Yang wondered, is Boss Dong trying to pursue Chu Di? Dong sure praised, you have a keen eye. He had prepared many snacks and even had purple sweet potatoes just for Chu Di. Arriving at the studio, Xiong Jio saw Ichuan standing with Xia Ya. He ran out to greet Xiong Jio, but she ignored him. The director announced that the ON team was busy traveling abroad, so the filming would have two teams, FVL and JR. The members of the two teams happily took photos together. During the interview, the two friendly team leaders were exposed by fans. Ichuan accused Bo Yu of using the excuse of cooking to stay at his house, and even sleeping in his bed, wearing his pajamas, and eating his chocolate. Xie Yi continued to ask questions about Ichuan's first failure. He said that the audience cared about his achievements, but he just wanted to become a professional esports player. When it was Chu Tan's turn, he admitted that using domestic guns was his stubbornness, but losing one match didn't mean he would always lose. That was what his captain, Ichuan, had taught him. He wanted to do his best to move forward, doing something worthy of his talent and his passion. During the interview, Ichuan kept looking towards Xiong Jio. Chu Di reminded her, if Xiong Jio doesn't take the initiative, I'm afraid the legend will be snatched away by Xia Ya. She gave Xiong Jio a lipstick that was like armor to help her confidently go to battle. Putting on the lipstick, Xiong Jio shyly approached Ichuan. Seeing her red lips, he guessed that Xiong Jio had just eaten a persimmon. She tried to suppress her annoyance, continuing to be feminine in front of him. Ichuan said, please don't change like this. It makes me very scared. By the pool, Bo Yu still didn't give up the opportunity to steal Chu Tan to the FEL team. Chu Tan affirmed, my captain is very good. Hearing this, Ichuan wanted to know, what makes me good? During their argument, Chu Tan and the two close friends all fell into the pool. Ichuan lovingly hugged his soaking wet treasure. Meeting Xiong Jio, he whined and demanded her attention. During the meal, the program organized a gift exchange game. Ichuan chose Chu Tan's compass. Dong Shi received Hong Yang's book and gave a massage voucher to Bo Yu. Chu Tan drew Xiong Jio's heart-shaped stone. When it was her turn, Xiong Jio didn't dare read what her gift was. Ichuan admitted, I'm the only one left who hasn't given a gift. Seeing that Xiong Jio was shy, he quickly chased after her. It turned out that the reward was a sweet kiss. Chasing Xiong Jio to the door of her room, Ichuan wondered, do you want to receive the gift out here or in the room? Xiong Jio turned red with shyness and hurried into the room. Meeting with Ichuan, Qin Zheng asked him if he wanted to join a better team. Ichuan was surprised that the captain he had always respected had such an irresponsible thought. Seeing the box of the arm brace in the trash, Qin Zheng asked which arm Ichuan's injury was on. He now understood why Ichuan didn't train every day and was covered in sweat after the competition the day before. Ichuan, you can't disregard your health. Moreover, if you're injured and decline in the competition, you'll have to face public opinion. So many people who have reached the top have declined rapidly because they couldn't overcome their illnesses. In the end, they were all looked down upon by the audience and forced to leave the team helplessly. Xiong Jio, who heard everything, couldn't hold back her tears. She was angry at herself for being clueless and for blaming Ichuan for being lazy and not training with his teammates. Ichuan comforted her. Lovely manager, I want to try my best until the JR team has a new commander. Ichuan highly valued Chu Tan's ability. He believed that as long as he accumulated more experience, he would soon break through his limits. Qin Zheng agreed, but if Ichuan's performance declined, he wouldn't allow him on the field. Seeing that Xiong Jio was still worried, Ichuan promised to have regular checkups and pay attention to resting. By the way, he asked Xiong Jio for some persimmons to kiss. She said that it was Chu Di's lipstick. Knowing Xiong Jio's intention, Ichuan affirmed that Xia Yu was just the daughter of his mother's friend. He gave Xiong Jio the opportunity to receive back the gift he had given her. Without waiting for her to agree, Ichuan pulled Xiong Jio close, moving closer to her. Bo Yu's mischievous laughter suddenly rang out. They even bet on whether Ichuan would dare to kiss Xiong Jio before dealing with the troublemakers. Ichuan didn't forget to kiss Xiong Jio on the forehead. Back at the base, Ichuan continuously watched videos of Chu Tan's matches. He believed that as long as he was willing to endure hardship, he would definitely be able to command the JR team. Xiong Jio said that she would actively supplement Chu Tan's nutrition. Ichuan was slightly jealous that even though he was the commander, he didn't receive special care. Just then, he met Qin Zheng, and Ichuan analyzed that Chu Tan was fighting based on instinct and didn't have any sense of command. He wanted to train him with Captain Qin so that this awareness would develop naturally. The next day, Chu Tan began a strict training regimen. For the first time, he received dozens of pieces of advice. Qin Zheng told Chu Tan that before taking action, he had to communicate with his teammates and not just focus on guns. Chu Tan wondered if that was Yi Chuan's job as a commander. Qin Zheng didn't answer, telling Chu Tan to do a good job of the tasks assigned to him. Seeing Chu Tan working hard all day, Xiong Jiu cooked many delicious meals for him. Qin Zheng decided that Chu Tan had to increase his training by 2 hours every day. Chu Tan thought that the position of commander already had the legend. Yi Chuan reminded him, everyone has to improve. Does Chu Tan plan to be a sniper forever? Han Yang felt that everyone was being a bit harsh with Chu Tan. Before going to bed, Yi Chuan trained with Chu Tan. He knew that his young teammate was under a lot of pressure. Yi Chuan confided that he had also started from the sniper position. He first got on stage when he replaced an injured assault player. Although the road is difficult, I will always be there to guide Chu Tan. The next day, Chu Tan secretly organized a birthday party for Xiong Jiu. He remembered that when he was little, he didn't have any friends, so no one came to his birthday parties. Xiong Jiu, realizing this, bought him a birthday cake, asking to celebrate Chu Tan's birthday in return. He was about to express his feelings when the legend unintentionally disrupted it. Seeing that the atmosphere was a bit tense, Yi Chuan apologized for coming back a bit early and went to take out the trash. Yi Chuan knew that Xiong Jiu was unhappy because she thought he had forgotten her birthday. He pulled Xiong Jiu to a place where Yi Chuan had prepared a beautiful birthday cake for her. Although Xiong Jiu couldn't eat 2 birthday cakes, she could make 2 wishes. Before she could finish her sentence, he quickly guessed that Xiong Jiu wanted to be with Yi Chuan forever. He confessed, "That's my wish too." By the sea, they exchanged their first sweet kisses. Back at the base, Yi Chuan revealed that he had left a birthday present in his girlfriend's room. He hoped she wouldn't be too touched. Xiong Jiu excitedly opened the room, and the birthday present indeed left her speechless. Seeing Chu Tan looking sad, Yi Chuan apologized for unintentionally ruining his plan. Chu Tan admitted that he liked Xiong Jiu and also knew that she liked Yi Chuan. He confided that since he was little, he had liked to follow behind Xiong Jiu to see her a little more. At that time, he didn't know what kind of feeling it was. He only realized that Xiong Jiu was the only person he wanted to get close to. After growing up, the number of times they met decreased. One message from Xiong Jiu was enough to make him happy for days. Everything related to her was easily different. Deep in his mind, Chu Tan knew by heart all of Xiong Jiu's preferences, habits, and even her posts. He always tried to appear in her life, even if he just silently watched. When Xiong Jiu met a guy online, Chu Tan thought he had lost his chance. After he disappeared, Xiong Jiu had closed off her heart. She had been waiting for Yi Chuan for 3 years. The next day, Dong Shi heard the news that the company had decided to shut down the esports department. Mr. Hong said that many major clients had suddenly terminated their contracts, and they were all the main sources of cash for JR. To ensure continued operation in the second half of the year, the company had to cut costs. In 3 days, the company would take back the esports team's base. Mr. Hong advised Dong Shi not to put more pressure on the chairman. He asked Mr. Hong to keep the news of the esports department's closure secret. At the base, all the members were dejected. Xiong Jiu reassured everyone, treating the upcoming time as a vacation. Yi Chuan encouraged his teammates. He said that Captain Qin had trained him at an internet cafe. When they went home, everyone had to actively train. Qin Zheng assigned tasks, Chu Tan to continue practicing commanding, Hong Yang to increase his shooting speed. They made an appointment to play online, and Qin Zheng would observe via livestream. On the other side, Dong Shi went to see his father. He knew that the esports department had always been an obstacle for the company. He agreed to return the base, only asking his father not to disband the JR team. He wasn't afraid of finding investors himself to maintain the team's operation. Chairman Dong was very surprised that his son had matured so much. He agreed to keep the esports department. However, Dong Shi had to manage 5 million yuan himself for the competition deposit. Back at school, Xiong Jiu heard from her homeroom teacher that her profile had been selected by an international sports group. Meeting with the recruiter, Xiong Jiu confided, "I came to esports by chance, but I've come to love it." She wanted to consider esports as her career path in the future. She thanked the group for their sincerity, but didn't want to leave the JR team. The recruiter liked Xiong Jiu very much, so they hoped she would reconsider. Chu Tan invited Xiong Jiu to see the fireworks. Chu Tan confessed that he had liked her for a long time, but this love would stop here. Over the years, he had secretly followed Xiong Jiu, hoping to be with her forever, until he realized that her happiness was not with him. Xiong Jiu had always thought that Chu Tan was still young, but she didn't expect that she was the one who wasn't mature. She had been taking Chu Tan's care for granted and ignoring his feelings. She believed that Chu Tan would soon find a good girl. He thought that missing out on him would be a lifelong regret for Xiong Jiu, so she shouldn't miss out on Yi Chuan either. After confessing all his feelings, Chu Tan ran to the bus stop alone. On the last bus, He reminisced about the memories with Xiongjiu. That gift he couldn't give her, so he would leave it all behind. Picking up his girlfriend after work, Ichuan sent her a list of potential sponsors who were interested in him, so he could collect money for the team's deposit. He was willing to break his own limits, using his commercial value to nurture his dream. To thank him, she invited the legend to have a meal with her. Arriving at the cafeteria, Ichuan complained that his girlfriend only cared about work and didn't even look at him once. Xiongjiu agreed to put aside everything to focus on eating with him. She noticed that the girls around were all looking at Ichuan. He immediately switched seats to sit next to Xiongjiu. To verify the rumor that they were a couple, he walked her to the front of her dorm. Ichuan was reluctant to leave and wanted to watch Xiongjiu go up to her room before he left. Coincidentally, the light in Xiongjiu's room was broken. She went down to report to the manager, but it was too late. Hearing Xiongjiu complain about the broken light, Ichuan immediately brought up a series of bad things that could happen. He didn't allow her to go back to the dorm, nor could she go to Chudi's house. Not wanting to bother Chu Tan's training, but seeing the chance to touch Xiongjiu's hand, Ichuan immediately pretended to be in pain to pull her back to his house to watch a movie. Ichuan was scheming to embrace his girlfriend. Just when he was about to succeed, she ran off to get food, leaving him alone on the sofa. Seeing the food on Xiongjiu's lips, Ichuan gently wiped it for her. She was so shy that she was flustered and drank from Ichuan's can of water. He slowly moved closer to Xiongjiu to taste his honey peach flavor. Hearing the door open, they quickly switched to a Wing Chun position. Boyu, drunk, was lying down on his best friend. Because the living room was given to Boyu and the sofa was dirted by him, Xiongjiu had to sleep in Ichuan's room. The atmosphere was so tense that the couple couldn't sleep. Ichuan extended his hand towards Xiongjiu, but only pulled the blanket up for her. Seeing that she was lying still and motionless, he took a peek, but Xiongjiu had fallen asleep. And in her sleep, she kicked Ichuan off the bed. Early in the morning, Xie brought a list of outstanding teams for Ichuan. Seeing Xiongjiu, she apologized for disturbing the two of them. Unexpectedly, Ichuan didn't explain, but politely chased Xie away. She reminded Ichuan not to bury his future in JR. Xiongjiu wondered, does Xie really understand Ichuan? If she doesn't understand, she shouldn't impose her opinions on others. Xie told Xiongjiu to think carefully about whether she was affecting Ichuan's career. After chasing Xie away, Ichuan pulled Xiongjiu into the house. He told her not to pay attention to what Xie said. He promised to pick her up after work tonight. At the hospital, the doctor was very happy that the blisters on Ichuan's hand had all disappeared. However, he should still consider surgery to completely eliminate the symptoms. Waiting for Xiongjiu to finish work, Ichuan drove her straight to his house. Knowing she was still angry about what happened in the morning, he blamed Xie for being rude and making his Xiongjiu jealous. He didn't like serving a little princess like her. Seeing his girlfriend's expression change, Ichuan was afraid he had said something wrong again. During dinner, Xiongjiu said that a brand wanted to hire Ichuan as their spokesperson. She knew that he had gone against his principles for her and the team. She thought Xie was right. Ichuan shouldn't stay with the JR team. He told Xiongjiu not to think too much because having a sponsor was a good start. Moreover, his hand was much better and he didn't need to take medicine anymore. Ichuan timidly gave his girlfriend a key card. From now on, I don't want to be home or eat alone. The next day, Chu Tan represented the JR team in a live stream competition. Chu Tan decided to parachute earlier than usual. He used grenades to deceive his enemies, making them think that he didn't have any guns. With his intelligent strategy, Chu Tan quickly finished the match in the leading position. He happily called his captain to tell him the news, but forgot that he was still on live stream. His cuteness made the online community very fond of him. On the other side, Dongshi and Xiongjiu had tried their best, but they were still short of more than 1 million yuan for the deposit. With only 2 days left until the deadline, they were afraid that the JR team would have to give up the competition and go home cook. Xiongjiu unexpectedly met Ichuan's mother. She misunderstood her as the housekeeper. Seeing Ichuan come home, she pulled her son to have dinner. Hearing him trying to introduce her, Xiongjiu quickly and cleverly stopped him. Ichuan's mother mentioned that Xie often came to heat up her relationship with her son. Ichuan affirmed that he only saw Xie as a friend. Xiongjiu finished the last dish and then asked to leave. Seeing Ichuan trying to keep Xiongjiu from leaving, Xie asked him to give her a chance. Ichuan told her to respect herself. Don't waste your time on me. He told his mother that her name was Xiongjiu. She was his girlfriend, and then he chased after Xiongjiu. Ichuan explained that he didn't know Xie had brought his mother. She was helpless and wanted to cancel her contract with him. The JR team is in a precarious situation. I tried my best, but I couldn't collect enough money for the competition deposit. I was the one who initially pulled you into the team, so I have to take responsibility to the end. I want you to focus on healing and then think about joining another club because you deserve bigger things, not staying and suffering with me. Ichuan took Xiongjiu to the place where his first professional match had been held. Although the result was a failure, This was where he had started his journey to his dream. Xiongjiu, I've been in many clubs, but only JR makes me feel like I belong. If I wanted to leave, no one could stop me. During my time at the base, I rediscovered the passion I had when I first became a professional player. Before, I thought that I had to rely on myself for everything, but now I realize that working towards a dream with everyone is much more meaningful. Ichuan, I can't bear to give you up, but to me, you're not just a team member, you're also the person I've been waiting for 3 years. If fate allows us to meet again, I want a happy ending. If we can't stand shoulder to shoulder, then at least I shouldn't hold you back. Ichuan reminded Xiongjiu that she wasn't the only one who cared about the team. Everyone was working hard and not giving up. If it's just about money, I can make up for it. Xiongjiu, I'll lend it to you. You pay me back yourself. Every time I come here to compete, I unconsciously look at that seat, hoping that you will appear. The feeling of missing out is very unpleasant. I don't want to repeat it again. Xiongjiu, I love you. Let's be together. Early in the morning, the legend styled his hair and chose a cool shirt to go prepare breakfast for his official girlfriend. On the other hand, Xiongjiu woke up early and put on light makeup. Hearing the knock on the door, she quickly climbed into bed, pretending to be a sleeping beauty. Looking at his girlfriend, the legend exclaimed, "A fairy who wakes up is indeed different from ordinary people. Her hair is so soft, and her skin is so smooth." Seeing that Xiongjiu was shy, he asked if she was afraid that he would kiss the powder off her cheek. Xiongjiu criticized her boyfriend for not understanding romance. She knew that he had gotten up early to style his hair, and was also wearing a different shirt than usual. Hearing his girlfriend complain, he kissed her to shut her up. Qinzheng suddenly made an appointment for Ichuan to come to a restaurant. It turned out that he had agreed to arrange for Hu Ran to meet with the legend. Hearing him invite him to join the ON team, Ichuan affirmed that he didn't lack money, and that he looked down on those who used money to measure everything. Knowing that Director Hu only cared about commercial value, Ichuan declared, "Professional players are human beings, not product for sale." Hu Ran reminded the legend that he should think about his old captain. If Ichuan didn't go to ON, Qinzheng might have to change careers again. Pulling Captain Qinzheng outside, Ichuan asked him what benefits he had received from Hu Ran. Qinzheng said that not everyone had the right to choose, so he wanted Ichuan to seize the opportunity and think about the injury on his hand. Ichuan said that from the first failure when he was abandoned by Qinzheng, he was determined to take the right to choose into his own hands. Qinzheng realized that he had caused Ichuan to close himself off and become authoritarian when joining any club. Returning home, Ichuan remembered that he had an appointment to train with Chutan. However, because of Qinzheng, he couldn't focus on work. Seeing his captain troubled, Chutan pulled him outside to play shooting games. The two were indeed very in sync, making the owner not dare to let them play a second round. That by the river, Ichuan confided that he had argued with Qinzheng. Chutan didn't know the reason why the two had argued, but he thought that Qinzheng would always be Ichuan's captain, just like Ichuan would always be Chutan's captain. Despite arguing a lot, Ichuan still chose to trust Chutan. Dongshu used the remaining money he had collected to rent a small house as their new base. Seeing the bewildered team members, Boss Dong explained that the house was small but had good feng shui. The legend said that location wasn't important as long as everyone still stood side by side. After their time apart, the JR team seemed to be closer. Xiongjiu announced that the house only had 4 rooms, so they had to share. Ichuan shared a room with Chu Tan, and Dongshu shared a room with Hong Yang. Xiongjiu said that she still hadn't been able to contact Coach Qin. Just as she said that, they heard a knock on the door. Ichuan knew it was Qinzheng. He confessed that whether in the past, present, or future, he wanted to be Ichuan's coach. Facing the international arena, the entire JR team intensified their training. Their opponents were the strongest clubs from various countries, so they had to break through the encirclement. Not only did each person have to improve their technique, but their coordination and overall rhythm all needed to be more professional than the previous match. As long as they persisted, they would surely be rewarded. In the middle of the night, Qinzheng was still analyzing match strategies. Ichuan unexpectedly received a phone call from Xie. She had brought food that his mother had cooked, waiting to treat everyone. Xie apologized for what happened at Ichuan's house. She confided, "I also don't like my own messy appearance, so I decided that I don't like you anymore." Going inside to meet Xiongjiu, Ichuan said that Xie had brought food and had said that she wouldn't like him anymore. Xiongjiu felt sorry that her boyfriend had lost an esports goddess. Ichuan thought that if Xie was a goddess, then his girlfriend was definitely the queen. Hearing that he didn't like gentle girls like Xie, Xiongjiu snuggled up to her boyfriend. Ichuan thought that she had a fever and quickly went to pour hot water. Xiongjiu wondered, what type of girl do you like after all? The legend told his girlfriend to look in the mirror and she would see. Seeing his girlfriend happy, Ichuan breathed a sigh of relief for overcoming his tribulation. At the studio to take advertising photos, the legend specially chose his most beautiful treasure. Unexpectedly, he had a model for a middle-aged fashion brand. On the way home, Ichuan was annoyed at being tricked by his girlfriend. He told her not to let him see those ugly photos. Xiong said in admiration, "Ichuan is indeed a legend. He looks handsome even in cotton pants." To make up for it, she would take him to a place, the roof of their building. Xiong allowed her boyfriend to write down all his dissatisfactions with her on paper. Seeing her writing negative things about him nonstop, Ichuan was curious to know what flaws a great boyfriend like him had. Unexpectedly, Xiong hoped that he would be pure his whole life, do what he wanted, and not be tired of other people's views. Ichuan was very touched, but he still liked to express himself through actions. Xiong shyly gave him a kiss on the cheek. "Xiong, every day with you, I'm happy and joyful. Even if I have to do things I don't like, I won't complain." Holding Xiong's hand, Ichuan drew a heart shape on both of their hands. He took a picture and posted it on Weibo. The online community took turns congratulating the legend. At the base, Chu Tan smiled when he saw Ichuan's picture. He had prepared 3 cans of beer waiting for the couple to come home. Meeting them, Chu Tan sent his best wishes to his captain. Early in the morning, Xiong dressed up beautifully, leaving Ichuan stunned. She said that she was going to take promotional photos for the team. Worried about losing his girlfriend, the legend used the excuse that the dress was not suitable for work. Xiong snuggled up to her boyfriend, asking him to allow her to be beautiful for one day. Ichuan quickly calmed himself down and firmly made Xiong change her clothes. Discovering his teammates were peeking, he frantically grabbed a coat for Xiong and then carried her to his room. Arriving at the studio, the JR team ran into Owen. Hearing Zi mocking Ichuan, Chu Tan immediately defended his captain. His feeling for the legend made Boyu even more eager to recruit Chu Tan to his team. While taking photos, the 4 members of the JR team posed very well together. After finishing work, the FAL team invited JR to dinner. Chu Tan asked to go home to train. Lao Han advised his young teammate to relax a little. Chu Tan said that he had to try harder to send the FAL team home. Hearing that his young teammate's tone was exactly like the legends, Lao Han wanted to play a match with JR. Ichuan decided to draw lots to choose teams. JR sent Chu Tan as their commander. The organizers excitedly wanted them to live stream the friendly match. In the end, Boyu finally fulfilled his wish of being on the same team as Chu Tan. Chu Tan's dramatically improved commanding skills made Boyu extremely impressed. He saw that his young teammate was more and more like Ichuan. While Chu Tan's team still had 3 people, Ichuan only had 1 teammate named Little Nan. Ichuan suddenly felt pain in his hand. Chu Tan, under his command, revealed his location to Boyu. He took the opportunity to take down the legend. Ending the match, Boyu immediately called his best friend. He knew that there was a problem with Ichuan's hand, which was why he hadn't been able to shoot him with 1 shot. Ichuan avoided answering. He quickly hung up to take a pain reliever. The next day, the whole group laughed at Ichuan's unforgettable advertisement. Dong Shi forever etched into his memory Ichuan's contribution in sacrificing his image to make money for the club. Seeing the legend come down, everyone didn't dare to say a word, knowing that something was wrong. Ichuan made Chu Tan tell him the truth. His young teammate praised his captain's first advertisement as very cool. Ichuan accused Xiong of secretly posting the advertisement on his account. She admitted her mistake and rewarded him with a kiss. The legend didn't want it, and was then hit on the head by his girlfriend. He demanded a kiss that would satisfy him in order to grudgingly forgive her. At the hospital, the doctor diagnosed Ichuan with acute myositis. If he didn't want to be crippled, he had to obediently wear an arm brace. While the doctor went to get the test results, Ichuan received a phone call from a senior named Xiaofeng. On the other side, Chu Tan was diligently training when he received a call for help from his captain. He quickly ran over. Unexpectedly, Ichuan asked him to play basketball with Xiaofeng because the senior was a potential investor for the JR team. Chu Tan was worried that he was wasting his training time while playing basketball. After finally finishing, he told his captain to go back to the base together. Hearing that Ichuan was busy and would be home late, Chu Tan's anger exploded. He questioned whether Ichuan was really serious about the competition. Chu Tan left in disappointment. Returning to the hospital, the doctor suggested that Ichuan withdraw from the competition. Because he had delayed the surgery, the inflammation had spread. If he continued to do strenuous exercise, he was afraid that more than half of his hand would lose sensation. At that time, even if Ichuan had surgery, the effectiveness would be significantly reduced. The next day, Chu Tan was still waiting for his captain to return. He had scheduled a friendly match with the Spanish team at 9 o'clock. Qin Zheng came and said that Ichuan was busy and that he would play instead. Chu Tan was annoyed and wanted to call to clarify what the legend really considered the competition to be. He canceled the friendly match and ran straight to Ichuan's house. Seeing his captain oversleeping at home, Chu Tan could no longer restrain his anger. He questioned whether Ichuan didn't want to train properly or was dissatisfied with someone on the team. Even so, he asked Ichuan to be serious for the rest of the competition, and then he could do whatever he wanted. Seeing that Ichuan still stubbornly refused to go back to the base, Chu Tan pretended not to know him and went home. Ichuan, Xiongjiu saw him sitting alone, looking sad, and snuggled into her boyfriend's arms. He confided, "Xiongjiu, my dream is gone." On the other side, Chu Tan returned to the base and saw that everyone was in shock. Qin Zheng said that Ichuan had injured his hand before joining the team. After the previous match, he had to go to the hospital. The doctor advised Ichuan to withdraw from the competition, but he wanted to persevere with everyone. He was afraid of affecting the team's morale, so he had always hidden his illness. At the hospital, the doctor put the arm brace back on Ichuan. The doctor said, "If you don't listen to me, even the gods can't save you." She asked, "Ichuan, can we not compete anymore?" At that moment, Chu Tan ran to Ichuan's house and knocked on the door. Feeling helpless, he regretted that he had said those harsh words to his captain. Outside the hospital gate, Xiongjiu looked at the bustling crowd of people coming and going. She thought that everyone had to face their own difficulties. She knew how important esports was to Ichuan, but no matter what happened, she would always love him and be by his side, facing everything with him. Waiting for Ichuan to return to the base, Chu Tan apologized to his captain. Ichuan couldn't bear to blame such a good boy. Chu Tan didn't dare to show his emotions. He commented on Ichuan's 20-year-old post. "Hello, I'm Chu Tan, 20 years old. Please give me your dream to fulfill." The next day, Xiongjiu said that she had registered Coach Xin as a substitute member, so he would replace Ichuan in the international qualifier. Ichuan hoped that everyone wouldn't be affected by him. "Maybe the team will have better luck without me." Chu Tan told his captain not to try to smile anymore. "I'm ready, so Ichuan, you can rest easy." However, Ichuan wanted to accompany everyone in a different way. He would take over Qin Zheng's coaching job. Holding his favorite mouse, the legend gave it back to Qin Zheng. At the hospital, Dr. William spoke online and agreed to return to operate on Ichuan at the beginning of next week. Dr. China designed a laparoscopic surgery plan, repairing Ichuan's carpal tunnel. The resulting wound would be quite small, and the recovery time would be short. Taking the opportunity to have their coach become their teammate, Chu Tan was not afraid to give Qin Zheng feedback. Behind him, Dong Shi and Hong Yang were also constantly writing reminders for Coach Xin. Dong Shi complained that Qin Zheng took too long to find angles and needed to practice throwing 1,000 times. If he was tired from training, he should memorize the map like Hong Yang. Most importantly, he had to sit for 12 hours like Chu Tan. Qin Zheng now realized how strict he had been in his training. Before the competition day, Qin Zheng discovered that his girlfriend had accepted a house from Hu Ran. She said that Hu Ran had helped her buy it at an internal price, so she had put down a deposit there. He also promised to give Qin Zheng the apartment if he returned to Coach Owen. Qin Zheng thought, there's no such thing as a free lunch. If she couldn't think about it thoroughly, then she should discuss it with him first. Meeting with Hu Ran, Qin Zheng returned the key to the apartment. He affirmed that Ichuan wouldn't go to Owen, so he was of no use anymore. Hu Ran proposed that Qin Zheng must lose in the qualifying match. He had a recording of Qin Zheng throwing a match. Hu Ran wondered, if Ichuan knew the truth, would he still trust Captain Qin? Back at the base, Qin Zheng suddenly took over the position of commander in the qualifying match. He thought that Chu Tan was still too focused on confrontation. If JR lost, Chu Tan would have to face a lot of pressure and would even have to listen to insults. As a newcomer, he shouldn't shoulder this. Arriving at the gathering area, Ichuan saw his girlfriend running back and forth, having to manage the team and also being busy with her relationship with him. He was going to use a kiss to soothe her, but was disrupted by two teammates. During dinner, Xiongjiu complained that Boss Dong ate too much greasy food and that Hong Yang's spicy food wasn't good for his stomach. She regretted taking everyone out to eat, as it was not safe. She compared their team to the other teams, who were all fasting to stay in top condition before the match, while her teammate like they were celebrating a harvest. The first match day and the final qualifier finally arrived. The entire JR team was determined to prove their strength on the field. Everyone was excited, except for Qin Zheng, who couldn't force a smile. As an early legend, and also having won the international championship twice, Qin Zheng was highly anticipated by the audience. But he had to choose between the match and Ichuan's trust. The official battle began. He decided to enter the match with a new mindset. Instead of being stable, Qin Zheng took a risk by facing Zi Yi alone. He unexpectedly shot down the captain of ON in the first few minutes, causing the entire stadium to erupt. Everyone witnessed the style of an early legend. Finally, he blocked the rear alone to buy valuable time for his teammates. On the other side, Chu Tan calculated the points earned. He commanded Dong Shi to provide cover for Hong Yang to stay alive, because he would take all of Hong Yang's bullets and turned back alone to score points. Everyone didn't understand why Chu Tan had to run back toward danger. Ichuan realized that Chu Tan wanted to pick up the parachute drop item. That was an action that no one had ever done before. Everyone erupted when Chu Tan picked up the parachute drop item to exchange for enhanced firepower, which was Ichuan's signature weapon. Everyone thought that Chu Tan was risking everything to get the enhanced firepower. He was carrying the legend's passion to fight alongside his captain. Chu Tan single-handedly took down 10 opponents, winning the entire round, helping JR rise to 4th place. The commentator commented, "Chu Tan carries the image of the legend, reversing the tide again and again, snatching victory in adversity." The next round began. The captain of Owen was a bit stressed, eager to score the first 3 points. On the other side, the JR team coordinated well. However, ZE was recklessly trying to score, so he was closely following JR's ranking. He and Chu Tan faced each other once again. ZE used a gas bomb and then fired repeatedly to confuse him. Instead of aiming and shooting, Chu Tan correctly sensed the enemy's position. However, ZE's final shot was too accurate and shot down Chu Tan. This victory helped ON surpass JR and win the ticket to the finals. Seeing the disappointed members leaving, Qin Zheng decided to tell everyone everything. He revealed that in the final match leading the Extreme team that year, he had deliberately lost. Therefore, Extreme had missed the championship, and Ichuan also couldn't touch the trophy. To get money for his mother's surgery, he had not only given points to his opponents, but also deliberately lost the first half of the match. Qin Zheng thought that esports was a fair playing field that shouldn't be tainted by tricks. He had been hiding for 3 years, and now he wanted to face his mistakes and apologize to his former Extreme teammates. Today, I almost made the same mistake. Luckily, I woke up in time. From now on, I will leave the JR team and withdraw from the esports world. Ichuan quickly chased after Qin Zheng, but he was too late. Meanwhile, Hong Yang was still suspicious, so he continued to study the video of Ziyi's match. He also asked for advice from a teacher who made game designs. After staying up all night, Hong Yang discovered the key point. Meeting with Dong Shi, he analyzed Ziyi's actions clearly, hearing 3 gunshots, but there's only 1 bullet hole. Not even a god can shoot 3 bullets in the same position. More importantly, Ziyi suddenly moved very quickly and aimed accurately in a strange way. He suspected that Ziyi had cheated in the match. The JR team immediately made a complaint with the organizers. The organizers invited the entire ON team to cooperate with the investigation. They had evidence that ZE had used an outsider to reveal shooting positions. Woman didn't know about this and thought that the organizers were falsely accusing her team. Unexpectedly, ZE admitted his mistake. The organizers decided to cancel ON's right to participate in the competition and ban them from competing for 3 years. ZE bowed his head to apologize to his 3 teammates. Everyone was sad that they didn't have enough people to participate in the final match. Dong Shi wanted to withdraw from the competition to wait for Ichuan to recover. At the organizers, Xiongjiu, on behalf of the JR team, requested to withdraw from the competition. Ichuan suddenly appeared, stopping her and taking her to the internet cafe where he used to work, choosing his future. After reading Xiongjiu's encouragement, he had been determined to become a professional esports player. Ichuan confessed, "What I want to do most right now is to compete with everyone, even if this might be my last competition. Because competing is the mission of an esports player's hands and is also Xiao Ichuan's dream." Xiongjiu, I know that you wanted to work for a multinational sports company. I also know that you turned down their offer to continue taking care of the JR team. But everyone has a different dream. The aspirations of JR cannot be exchanged for your dream. Moreover, we are together because we love each other, not to sacrifice for each other. I hope you will think carefully about your future. The final match finally arrived. In the waiting room, the doctor injected Ichuan with a strong dose of pain reliever. He instructed, "If you feel pain during the competition, you must report it immediately." The legend looked at his teammates who were even more worried than him. Ichuan told Xiongjiu to give him his phone so he could text Captain Qin. The final match of the International League of Esports officially began. The enthusiastic cheers from the audience in the stands brought even more energy to the competition. While the players entered the match, the large screen showed a close-up of the legend. Looking at his hand wrapped in bandages, the host said that this image proved the saying, "Youth is not afraid, they only endure the pain to move forward." They are passionate and brave youths who pursue their dreams. The official match began. Under Ichuan's command, the JR team quickly parachuted. Being pressured by the other 3 teams, Hong Yang was eliminated from the game. The international arena was indeed fierce. The 3 remaining members of JR were quickly eliminated. The following matches were also not very promising. At the end of the first half, Team Mars was still in the lead. Team Lime ranked 2nd, and the 3rd position belonged to Team Fox. The gap between the JR team and the leader was too large. The second half of the Global League final officially began, facing the enemy. They took the initiative to attack the building. Not only his shooting skills, but Ichuan's movements were also worthy of being deified. With his shrewd mind, he threw a firebomb at the enemy and then calmly finished off the remaining two. In that way, the legend single-handedly eliminated the entire gun team, earning 10 points for JR. The entire stadium was satisfied to witness one of the most spectacular PK battles of this match. The host said, whether they win or lose, JR's performance deserves to be remembered by the whole world. After 3 rounds, the JR team was ranked 6th, 40 points behind the leader. To win, they had to eliminate 35 people. Ichuan instructed, on average, each member needs to eliminate 9 people and then try to survive. He thought, failure and regret are different. As long as we try our best, we won't have any regrets. As a captain, the legend decided that in the final round, they wouldn't count the scores anymore. We'll only think about one thing, playing a great match and absolutely not admitting defeat. The final match officially began. The JR team took the initiative to attack, scoring points. The strong clubs continued to gang up, eliminating the weak, causing the number of players to decrease. Because of this, it was difficult for the JR team to score points. Ichuan decided to go all in. He commanded the whole team to actively go to Bacton to find the enemy, currently the place where most of the strongest forces had gathered. The JR team not only participated in the melee, but also deliberately faced the enemy head-on. 3 members provided cover for Ichuan to advance to the center. Chu Tan continuously changed positions, shooting down those who threatened his captain. Ichuan said that both Dong Shi and Hong Yang had been eliminated. Chu Tan's position was vulnerable to a sneak attack. Chu Tan wanted to charge ahead, determined to fight to buy time for Ichuan to enter the center. He threw his last grenade at the parachute drop item, cutting off his own retreat. Chu Tan also absolutely wouldn't give the opponents any opportunities. Entering the safe zone, he was ready to die with the opponent. Currently, JR had 2 members left. Team FAL and Team Lime had 1 member left. Team R still had a full team. Chu Tan used a gas bomb, continuing to go all in against the enemies outside. Meanwhile, Ichuan was trying his best to advance to the safe zone. Before running out of blood, Chu Tan shouted, "Captain, keep going. You don't have to wait for me. I can't go in anymore." He had used all his strength to create an opportunity for his captain. The host thought, Chu Tan kept fighting until the last minute. Even in despair, he didn't give up his burning hope. Chu Tan's indomitable spirit touched everyone. Currently, only Ichuan, Bo Yu, and Team R's were competing for a safe position. Knowing that JR couldn't surpass Team R's score, Ichuan decided to push the points to FAL. Ichuan forced the enemy to be under Bo Yu's gun. The captain of Team Mars had hid inside the building, not shooting while waiting for the match to end. Ichuan threw a gas bomb to confuse him. As expected, he had forced his enemy out so that Bo Yu could shoot him down. Bo Yu eliminated the rest of Team Mars, bringing the FAL team to first place. Finally, Chinese esports welcomed their first international champion. But the match was not over yet. The 2 best friends continued to play against each other. They decided to remove all supplies and armor. Each with 3 bullets, they would have a pure one-on-one gunfight. Although Ichuan was defeated, he absolutely would not admit defeat. That was the fighting spirit of sports. 2 bullets were fired at the same time, but the legend was a split second faster. As a result of the final match, the JR team won, bringing home 33 points. Although their total points were not enough to surpass the FAL team, their indomitable spirit made them worthy of being the leaders. The International League Championship trophy was well-deserved by the Chinese FAL with its hero Wang Boyu. The Best Player award went to the legend of the JR team. Although it wasn't the championship trophy, it was the sports dream of Ichuan. He went to the backstage area, giving his trophy to his girlfriend. 1 year later, Ichuan became an esports coach, but his students were very fond of Chu Tan and the JR team, who had just won the championship. The legend proudly said, "My students' idols were also trained by me." On the other side, Xiongjiu had gone to work for a multinational sports group. They were the organizers of the Global League. The JR team moved back to the base, inviting everyone to celebrate. Hong Yang had replaced Xiongjiu's position as manager. Chu Tan complained, "We just want a little prize money, and we had to give a housewarming red envelope to Coach Qin and also attend Boston's wedding." Seeing Chu Tan pick up food for him, Ichuan affirmed, "My hand is crippled, but not useless." Chu Tan wondered, "Does our captain want to return to JR?" Ichuan shook his head, because looking at his young students, he also felt like he was competing. Because as long as there was light in their eyes and fire in their hearts, those youths would continue to move forward. This is where the story ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss out on more amazing videos. For now, goodbye and until next time.